Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim Kelly. This is The Real Sports Talk. You can follow me on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST, KASH Kelly _TRST, and also like The Real Sports Talk at Facebook.com/The Real Sports Talk. Mike McCoy is the new head man for the San Diego Chargers. He has informed the Denver Broncos that he reportedly, this is all reported according to Adam Schefter, he's informed the Denver Broncos that he's going to be taking the position as head coach of the San Diego Chargers. A move that I think last night it appeared that it was down to either the Chargers or the Arizona Cardinals to decide which team Mike McCoy was going to go to. He's become one of the hottest offensive coordinator names over the past couple seasons because of his work last year with Tim Tebow. And anyone who makes Tim Tebow look even remotely good, as we found out this year, deserves some props. And then what he did with Peyton Manning this past season. And look, we all know Peyton Manning doesn't need a superstar offensive coordinator in there, but the way that he was able to help guys like Eric Decker and not only Eric Decker, but Demaryius Thomas improve, the way that he's helped Willis McGahee over the past few years. I know he was injured at the end of this year. The way that he's helped him revitalize his career, and when he went down, the way that they were still able to play extremely well with guys like Sean Moreno. I think Mike McCoy has done a tremendous job as the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, and that doesn't mean he's going to translate to a great coach, but Peyton Manning gave him a vote of confidence last week when he said that this is a guy that works extremely hard and deserves a shot as a head coach somewhere, and he's going to get it with the San Diego Chargers. Some Chargers fans, Justin, who's on the show, he's a Chargers fan, and he's kind of been disappointed with this hire, not because he has anything against Mike McCoy, but because they were just coming off a guy who was a great offensive coordinator, not a very good head coach in Norv Turner, and Justin wanted to see them go with a more defensive guy like a Lovie Smith. The reason why I think either Mike McCoy or Bruce Arians, who was another candidate for this job, why they were the best two candidates for this position is because of one guy, and that is Philip Rivers. 2 years ago, I had Philip Rivers winning MVP. I felt like the Chargers were a team that could potentially do some damage in the playoffs. Since then, Philip Rivers has become an interception machine. He's become a mediocre quarterback, and the Chargers have become a below-average team because of that. There's other holes on this team. Certainly, I think everyone understands that this is not a team, regardless of the play of Philip Rivers next year, that is going to go to the Super Bowl or probably even go to the playoffs. But if Philip Rivers turns it around, that completely changes this entire team. And you've brought a guy in that is an offensive genius that has worked very well with two completely different type of quarterbacks in Tim Tebow and Peyton Manning, and he's helped them to have success. Philip Rivers has a ton of talent, and if Mike McCoy can get Philip Rivers to play how Philip Rivers was when I viewed him as a top 5 quarterback a few years ago, then all of a sudden that changes the landscape of everything for the Chargers. It gives them a lot more stability on the offensive side. Not only that, but if you look at the work that Mike McCoy has done with guys like Willis McGahee, it leads you to think that maybe sooner rather than later, this team will have some more weapons offensively, because maybe he gets more out of guys like Ryan Matthews and some of the other offensive pieces that the Chargers have. Maybe he's able to get more out of those guys than Norv Turner was getting, because he's a new voice, he's a fresh voice with some different ideas, and I think that is a very good move. Once you are able to turn that offense around, which I think Mike McCoy will do, then that's the point where you say, okay, now let's plug in some of the holes on defense. Let's find out if we need to go get some more wide receivers. And there's a host of wide receivers out there this offseason, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers end up with a guy like Mike Wallace or someone like Mike Wallace. Greg Jennings is another name out there, so I wouldn't be surprised now that they have a big offensive name and a quarterback who many expect to turn it around next year if they're able to plug one of those holes next year. What you find out in the 2013 season Is Ryan Matthews your guy at the running back position? And they'll probably take another running back in the draft, but you would tend to think going into next year Ryan Matthews will be your guy, as at least he'll be getting a majority of the carries. You find out if he's your guy long term. You find out if Philip Rivers is your guy. Maybe it isn't Norv Turner. Maybe it's just that Philip Rivers has he hit a wall earlier in his career than we see most quarterbacks do, and we've seen the best of Philip Rivers. That's entirely possible. You need to figure that out next year. But if he ends up playing well and you have some stability, then you're able to add on to some of the more skill positions like running back and wide receiver, build an offensive line, which is something that the Chargers desperately need to improve in this draft, and probably what they will reach for first in the draft, and then build some more pieces on defense. They don't have a terrible defense, but they need to add in pieces, especially in the Chargers secondary. Overall, though, Mike McCoy will be the new head coach of the San Diego Chargers coming over from Denver. Give me your thoughts in the comments section. This is a hire that I think most people are excited about around the NFL. It's a bright young coaching mind that's getting an opportunity. Mike McCoy heading to the Chargers. I'm Tim Kelly. I'll see you guys later.